Welcome to the 2001 Lucille Lortel Awards for Outstanding Achievement Off-Broadway. And now, direct from the good ship Peking at Off-Broadway's own South Street Seaport, the cast of The Pirates of Penzance.
I sing the very model of a song that's lost its copyright. We bastardize the lyrics all especially for you tonight. I'm just a humble thespian, for this they usually get a star. But Brooks in makeup, Allen's crossed the street in some old leather bar. A thank you to the League, you're very kind inviting pirates in. The Weislers would have made poor Allen start the show with Veal come in. I'd like to wish the nominees the best of luck before the show. But there's no point to that, because they announced the winners weeks ago. But still, congratulations to the folks they chose to nominate. We might have been a nominee, but we just missed the cutoff date. With 40 plays to choose from, a committee had a grand buffet, unlike that simpy Broadway fair, which they got from us anyway.
Everybody knows the deal where Broadway gets its happy meal. They open up for profit, then the shivers fall and do their spiel.
It's been a busy season, plays and musicals all over town. So many shows are thriving, even when the market's going down. A singing bat, a razor play, a jitney, and a buccaneer. And God, how many Broadway shows did MTC produce this year? There's Suburb and Vagina, Madame Melville at the Promenade. There's Lobby Hero, 10 Unknowns, and you're in town. Oh my God. Yes, Off-Broadway's been jiving. It's a banner year without a doubt. Despite the fact that no one knows what Edward Albee's play's about.
Despite the fact that no one knows what Edward Albee's play's about. We know that it's about the baby, but what is that goddamn play about?
Say, looking at the last 3 seasons, we've all had a few hits, who's counting, but in each of them, Off-Broadway copped the Pulitzer. We won it for a chorus line that started down on Lafayette. The same thing goes for Redbone in a city known as Alphabet.
And we were celebrating Megan's 35 this year, and chorus line is 25, so Halloween without a fear.
There's so much to be thankful for. Dear Lanford is a testament. The New York Theatre Workshop doesn't have to worry about the rent. The public's brought back Meryl Streep. The Winter Garden's free at last. And someone wrote a musical where people get to pee at last. We're grateful for the Actors Fund, and bless you, Kitty Carlisle Hart. You both were there to help Off-Broadway on its feet right at the start. Congratulations, winners! You inspire all who trod the boards. And now it's time for giving out this year's Lucille Lortel Awards. We think you'll all enjoy the show, well, barring all catastrophes. They've lined up all these theatre stars and Juliana Margulies. So keep the speeches short and sweet. We're signing this for New York 1. Okay, please welcome Alan Cumming and Brooke Shields, because we're done.
Could we just, before we start, Brooke, clear something up? I was actually in makeup, she was across the street in the leather bar.
Who's your daddy?
You are, Brooke, you are.
Good evening. Welcome to the 16th annual Lucille Lortel Awards. Now, in the beginning, the term off-Broadway simply meant not on Broadway.
I'm sorry, could you run that by me again? That concept's a little difficult to
Not on Broadway. Off.
Okay, thank
Broadway.
you. Got it.
All right.
Got it. Thanks very much for clearing that up.
Okay. There were experimental plays and challenging dramas, and untested talent were all able to be seen in basements, lofts, parks, and sometimes even theaters. From these humble beginnings, Off-Broadway has grown into its identity as the place to see serious drama, innovative forms, and important subject matters. Now, I'm not going to list for you the many, many stars of theater, film, and television who have worked off-Broadway, because at this point, well, it just seems that anyone who is anyone has appeared on the off-Broadway stage. Except, of course, Alan Cumming.
And so I'm very pleased to be making my off-Broadway debut tonight. Hooray for me! Yay! A bit nervous. The Pulitzer Prize for Drama recently went to an off-Broadway play for the third year running, which is proof that off-Broadway has long ceased to be a stepchild of Broadway. No longer the place to get one start, off-Broadway now attracts artists at the height of their careers. Tonight, we applaud the people who brought this season's most outstanding work to audiences, and we recognise some of the people who have been making off-Broadway the place to be for years.
Now, our first award will be presented by Adam Pascal, who originated the role of Roger in Rent, and he is currently starring in Aida.
So please welcome Adam Pascal.
Thank you very much. I was extremely honored to be asked to present to the New York Theater Workshop and to Jim Nicola the award for Outstanding Body. I thought that's kind of an interesting award. I'd never actually heard of that one before. So, don't get me wrong, Jim was a very handsome man and very attractive. It's just I've never actually heard of that award. And of course I thought about it and it was Outstanding Body of Work. So. The New York Theater Workshop was founded in 1979 to develop challenging, unpredictable theater. Relying on a band of artists they refer to as the usual suspects, the New York Theater Workshop approaches theater with spirit of inquiry and innovation that has led to some of the best work in the past 22 years. Some of the many extraordinary plays developed or premiered at the New York Theater Workshop have been Quills, Claudia Schier's Blown Sideways Through Life and Dirty Blonde, Angels in America, and of course my favorite, Rent, which is now in its 5th year running on Broadway. It's my great pleasure tonight to present the Lucille Lortel Award for Outstanding Body of Work to the New York Theater Workshop and my friend Jim Nicola.
Pretty wonderful. I thank you, Adam. I couldn't think of anybody more that I'd want to receive something like this from. Perhaps the most remarkable thing about this moment is New York Theater Workshop being awarded something wonderful, but seeing me in a suit, which doesn't happen often. I just want to say that being honored in this way means a tremendous amount to me and to everybody at the workshop that I am here to represent. Our community of artists, a wonderful staff, an incredible board of trustees who over the years have been remarkably patient and generous to me personally in letting me follow my nose. I think I'm pretty fortunate in that respect. This is a real challenge to us for the future. We have to live up to some pretty high opinions, and I think that means a lot to us moving forward. Thank you very much.
When Rent exploded at New York Theater Workshop, the excitement was bittersweet. With the untimely death of its creator, Jonathan Larson, a new voice in musical theater was simultaneously discovered and lost. Now, Jonathan Larson's unproduced musical, Tick, Tick, Boom, is about to premiere at the Jane Street Theater. So please welcome, yes, the cast of Tick, Tick, Boom, Raul Esparza, Jerry Dixon, and Amy Spanger.
Good evening. Raul is not here with us tonight, but I'm sure he would love to be, standing next to the lovely Amy Spanger. But I am, so that's great. Here we are.
It's our special privilege tonight to present the Lucille Lortel Awards for Design. Without the special contributions of these visual artists of the theater, you've got radio. Our first award tonight is for, thank you. Our first award tonight is for set design. The set is home for the run of the show. The audience appreciates a set for its beauty or its appropriateness to the play or its ingeniousness.
David Gale creates sets that work and sets that are admired. This season, his work has been seen in The Bubbly Black Girl Sheds Her Chameleon Skin, which I had the very, very big pleasure of working with David on. A Skull in Connemara, King Hedley II, and with 2 Lortel Awards in his collection for Bunny Bunny and The Wild Party, David Gale now adds a 3rd for his design of August Wilson's Jitney. Please welcome Mr. David Gale.
I'm a little bummed out because I had this whole Gilbert and Sullivan thing planned for my speech, which I guess is not going to work out. So I'll just read from my script here. So many thanks to August Wilson for writing or rewriting this remarkable play, as well as sharing his poetic vision of Pittsburgh with all of us. Anybody with Pittsburgh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'd also like to thank Marion McClinton in general for his guidance and insight over the years, and then also specifically for his suggestion that we might want to see a little piece of a car on the Jitney stage. I thought that worked. Also, thanks to the artists and craftspeople in the regional theater scene for, among other things, chopping the cars up into little pieces to get them on stage. My greatest appreciation to my fellow designers, Rob Milburn, Don Holder, and Susan Hilferty, for their contribution to the creation of our little Jitney station. The cast, who've always been the heart and soul of the piece, and special thanks to Second Stage and our New York producers, too, for bringing it home so that my mom could see it. So, thank you very much.
Actors have a special appreciation for the costume designer's art. It's a real pleasure to work with a gifted costume designer, and tonight's recipient, Jane Greenwood, is certainly that. She has designed costumes at Lincoln Center, on Broadway, off-Broadway, and for film. From An American Daughter to The Dead, from Vita and Virginia to Lips Together, Teeth Apart, Jane Greenwood has been making actors look good and feel right. Tonight, it's my pleasure to present the Lucille Lortel Award for Outstanding Costume Design to Jane Greenwood for Old Money. Please welcome Sarah Edwards to the stage to accept the award for her mother, Jane Greenwood.
Hi. My mother asked me to extend her regrets at not being able to be here tonight and to thank the Lucille Lortel Foundation for this award, and we're all very proud of her. Thank you very much.
The lighting designer not only makes the actors look good, but can invoke the passage of time, set a mood, and change the entire playing space from scene to scene. Lighting design is an ephemeral art, but it also requires great technical knowledge and a willingness to work at high voltages. Paul Anderson made his American debut with the Théâtre de Complicité production of The Chairs on Broadway. Tonight we honor his work on his first off-Broadway production. I'm thrilled to present the Lortel Award for Outstanding Lighting Design to Paul Anderson for Mnemonic.
Wow. I'm absolutely thrilled to receive this. It's the only thing I've ever won in my life, so it's very special to me. Thank you. I'd like to thank very sincerely the Lucille Lortel Foundation for this award. I'd also like to thank a few other very special people. I'd like to thank Pauline, Alan, and Conrad, three very special people in my life who keep me going late at night and give me enormous encouragement and support. I'd also like to thank a fantastic group of people who came together on Mnemonic, a wonderful cast who most of the time managed to find their light, an amazing creative team, Michael Levine, Christopher Schutz and Christina Cunningham. And I'd also like to thank Simon McBurney, the director of the piece, who, in my opinion, is an absolute theatrical genius, and his talent for sort of melding together all aspects of a theatrical production are just mind-blowing. Thank you very much.
If you would please stay on stage. We have one last design award to present. The award Design for Sound. Tonight's recipient has designed sound for The Streets of Crocodiles, Road,
and Serious Money. This year's Lucille Lortel Award for Outstanding Sign Design goes to Christopher Schutz for Mnemonic.
Yes, unfortunately, Christopher Schutz could not be with us tonight, so Paul, please accept this award from your colleague and collaborator.
Just before we go any further, it's my colleague and Chris's colleague, Gareth Fry, that's going to cut the award this evening.
Gareth Fry.
Hello. Chris couldn't be here tonight, but he's asked me to say a few bad jokes in his absence. He'd like to thank the Lucille Lortel Foundation for honouring him with this award, and he's sorry he can't be here to accept it in person. He'd like to acknowledge the enormous contribution of a number of other people who share this award with him, though. Gareth Fry, myself, Simon McBurney, without whose inspiration, vision and drive none of us could have achieved what we did, and for having the nerve to stand naked on stage for an hour and a half. Also Paul Anderson and Michael Levine, the lighting designer and set designer, for unwittingly allowing me to pinch their ideas and make them my own, and not standing on stage for an hour and a half naked. Christoph, my partner, for his unconditional support, and finally the whole acting company and technical team for putting the flesh on the bones of our shriveled old corpse. Thank you all very much.
And now, on behalf of the Actors Fund of America and the League of Off-Broadway Theaters and Producers, please welcome Joe Benincasa and Mark Ralph.
Hi, I just want to welcome everybody on behalf of the League of Off-Broadway Theaters and Producers. This has been a really terrific season for us. There's been really a wealth of really wonderful plays and musicals and a lot of excitement off-Broadway. This year, for the first time, we actually made public the nominations, and I think that was a really thrilling part of this awards season for me, because in the past, the Lucille Lortel Awards have only announced the winners, but there's really so much incredible talent and so many wonderful, deserving people. And so, although we can only have one winner, at least we were able to acknowledge all of the, a lot more people this year with all of the nominees. So I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you for everybody, and we're looking forward to a really terrific season this coming season. And I'd like to introduce my colleague from the Actors Fund, who we are honoring this evening, and this evening is a benefit for the Actors Fund.
Lucille Lortel was not content to be the queen of off-Broadway. No, she insisted in being the queen of way off-Broadway as well, and doing so in a way that would help the Actors Fund. Miss Lortel established a theater at the Fund's home in Englewood, New Jersey, a decade ago when the nursing home was being built. She recognized that actors, directors, press agents, and producers would want to continue working in theater even in retirement. And her generous gift has proven to be good medicine for our residents there. Lucille's generosity in life continues in the good works of her foundation, and the Actors Fund is very appreciative to those entrusted with carrying out her legacy. We are proud to be chosen as the beneficiary of tonight's awards program, and we thank her foundation and the League of Off-Broadway Theaters and Producers for their endorsement of our important good works. It was Miss Lortel's wish that this event would benefit the Actors Fund, and we extend our thanks to George Forbes for sustaining Lucille's legacy and spearheading another wonderful evening. On behalf of the more than 6,000 entertainment professionals in 39 states who were helped by the fund last year, including the residents of the nursing homes and assisted living care facility in New Jersey, Palm View in West Hollywood, and the Aurora residents right here in Manhattan, thank you all very much.
Yeah, I think the stage has seen this much grass since the original production of Hair.
Or as many bushes. Now, continuing the botanical theme, Brooke, you've got something that's in the shape of a flower, don't you?
I do.
What are those?
Because I walked backstage and my husband came rushing to me and said that all the lights...
It was cold.
Yeah, and I was cold and I was completely see-through, so we went to one of those little sex shops and got me little nipple protectors.
That's sort of like one of those tales of modern America.
Very modern.
Anyway, I love her in the shape of a flower. That's my favourite. Now, our next presenter plays a freak off Broadway. I bet you're all wondering who that is. It could be a great number of people, I imagine. But it is, in fact, Devon May, and he has the ears and teeth to prove it. He's here tonight to present our next award. Please welcome Bat Boy himself, Devon May.
Thank you, everybody. Wow, what an introduction. Freak. I love it. It's a great honor to be here, and it's just wonderful. This is the first time that a bat is presenting to a cat, or at least a former cat, Christopher Gatelli. He actually won the Gypsy Prize, the Gypsy of the Year, when he was in Cats. And now after, excuse the expression, cutting his teeth on Broadway, he's making his off-Broadway debut as a choreographer. And it's my great, great pleasure to give the Lucille Lortel Award for Outstanding Choreography to Christopher Gatelli. I just held my Bat Boy. Had to. I am so thrilled to be up here. I can't even tell you. Like Devin said, Bat Boy is my off-Broadway debut, and to be recognized for my work in it makes the whole experience for me more rewarding than I can even tell you. So I would like to thank for that the selection committee and the Lucille Lortel Foundation for giving me the opportunity to come up here and thank everybody else, including Scott Schwartz, the director of Bat Boy, who for bringing me on to the project, who is absolutely amazing. His work in the show is brilliant. And for Lawrence O'Keefe, Brian Fleming, and Keith Farley for trusting me with their baby. All the producers of Bat Boy for taking a chance on a newcomer. I sincerely appreciate it. The cast, who is extremely talented and do a killer show 8 times a week. My assistants, Tim Albrecht and Tesha Buss. My best friends and support system, Ray DeMattis and Brian Bradford. Stephen Binsky for his daily love and support. And my family, who the word support is an understatement with them. They have seen and been everywhere with me. They're here tonight. I'm sure to get to meet them by the end of the night. They're going to be so excited. Again, I thank you for this. It's so nice to be awarded for something that you so love to do. Thank you.
Our next presenter is sort of an off-Broadway success story himself. From early performances, Maybe I'm Not Doing It Wrong, and Miss Firecracker Contest. Now he is reunited with playwright Beth Henley as artistic director of Second Stage's 2001 season, where Henley's Pulitzer Prize-winning Crimes of the Heart is now running. Here to present the Lucille Lortel Award for Outstanding Direction is Mark Lynn-Baker.
For 16 years, Dan Sullivan served as the artistic director of Seattle Rep, directing over 60 productions, sending some of his best work to New York. Now he is here amongst us, and he won't leave. With such acclaimed productions as Dinner with Friends and The Substance of Fire, Daniel Sullivan has always been dedicated to new plays and new playwrights. Not since George Bernard Shaw has a man with facial hair made such an indelible mark on the theater. On a personal note, it's Dan Sullivan who gave me the courage and confidence to grow this very mustache. But tonight we honor him for something else entirely. We honor Dan Sullivan for his outstanding work in bringing David Auburn's Proof to the stage. It is my pleasure to present the Lucille Lortel Award for Outstanding Director to Daniel Sullivan for Proof.
The stairs are pretty easy, Mary Louise. You're very well lit. Thank you for this. First of all, thanks, David Auburn, for a wonderful, magnificent play. It was a great joy to work on. Manhattan Theater Club, Barry, Lynn, and Michael, bless you. Robin Goodman, thanks for making that call. Thanks for sending me the play. It's a great cast: Joanna Day, Larry Brigman, Ben Shankman, Mary Louise, and a wonderful group of designers: John Lee Beatty, Jess Goldstein, and Pat Collins. There was a great moment in rehearsals. I think it was the first week. The play is sort of about obsessions, and we were sort of talking about our own and why we were doing theater to begin with. And I asked Mary Louise, why are you doing this, Mary Louise, after all these years? And she said, the possibility of winning awards. I didn't realize at the time that she was also talking about winning me one. Thank you very much.
Our next presenter epitomizes that type of actor who slips easily from film to television to theatre. She's well known on the on- and off-Broadway stage for her roles in Imagining Brad at the Drama Department, Top Girls, Sister Mary Ignatius, and Four Dogs and a Bone on this very stage. Please welcome Polly Draper.
Hi. I didn't bring my reading glasses, but this founding member of the drama department has a long history of off-Broadway. We, of course, remember his soul and everything else bearing performance in Terrence McNally's Love, Valor, and Compassion, as well as his acclaimed performances in June Moon, Old Wicked Songs, and John Robin Bates' A Fair Country. This season, he reunited with Bates for 10 Unknowns. Tonight, it is my pleasure to present the Lucille Lortel Award for Outstanding Featured Actor to Justin Kirk.
I wasn't actually in a fair country. I did the workshop, but I should have been. There are a few people who deserve props for giving me a hand up when I was a green young thing here in New York. But I don't think any of them are here tonight, so I'm going to wait for the next award that I win to actually mention them. Dan Sullivan, I loved working with you. I don't remember specifically why, but that's part of the mystery and the enigma that is hitmaker Dan Sullivan. Robbie Bates, who's actually one of those people that I said before. Thanks for this crazy part. Bill Butler, I'm glad that you're the man in charge. Kari, thanks for taking the red eye on Spirit Airlines with me this morning and laying over in Detroit for an hour. And most importantly, the cast is like a organism unto itself, and I'm proud and honored to have shared the stage with Dennis O'Hare, Juliana Margulies, and Donald Sutherland. Thanks, Lucille Lortel people. Thank you. Bye.
Our next presenters typify the actors who move with grace and elegance back and forth between television and theater. They are perhaps best known as the lusty Brian Kinney from Showtime's Queer as Folk, and the elder statesman of the Oswald State Penitentiary on HBO's Oz. Now, regardless of which premium cable system you subscribe to, you can actually see them together in Austin Pendleton's Uncle Bob at Soho Playhouse. Please welcome Gale Harold and George Morfogen.
Hi. When I was a young man, a boy really, you don't mention dates when you talk about this because it has a way of limiting your opportunities. So you have to be very careful where you place these moments. I heard he was a great educator, tell a freshman entering class something that sort of has stayed with me, which is if you care to live at all, you must be prepared to live dangerously. Give up security as an ideal. If you insist on being cheated, buy gold bricks or bet your dollars on a nag. They are a lot sounder investment than security. Now, we, in this off-Broadway family, can confirm that we know what that's all about. Anyway, I have been recently doing a little crossover from the Oz family in Bayonne, New Jersey, to a kind of cross-under, to be literal, to Austin Pendleton's world on Van Dam Street. And I have to confess something to you, that the danger that has been preoccupying me is whether I'm going to get through the Holland Tunnel in time to make half hour. But here tonight, we're here to celebrate a really important crossover, which has happened for a very, very gifted actress. And a gifted actress who was in such good off-Broadway hands. She sure was. And standing next to me is a young man who has just had a terrific crossover. And I do a little duet with him every night, 8 times a week. And this is Gale.
It's a great thrill for us to be here and have the opportunity to honor the world of the off-Broadway community in New York. And the award tonight, this evening, for Lucille Lortel Award for Most Outstanding Featured Actress goes to an actress who has appeared in such diverse roles as The Vagina Monologues and Substance of Fire. And tonight, that award goes to Juliana Margulies for 10 Unknowns.
I'm flattered to have 2. It's so nice. Thank you. This is such an honor. Such a welcome to the New York stage community. And I have to thank Robbie Bates for his plethora of interesting words that, thank God, Dan Sullivan could help us all understand. They both have quite a vision, and it was something to watch, the way they worked with this incredible piece of work. And I thank all the actors I got to work with. It was a joy. And I have to thank Roy Harris and Denise Yaney, our stage managers, because I don't know if they're here tonight, but we would all sit there and, working a new play, it's the hardest thing I've ever done. And, then everyone gets to go and shine. And they sit there night after night just supporting us and being so sweet and lovely and keeping Dan's vision going and making sure Robbie heard all the wrong words we were all saying. So I just want to, and Lincoln Center for being so brave and honoring me and letting me be on their stage. So thank you very much. This means a lot.
I'm really happy about this next bit because I'm always doing interviews and they always ask you who your favourite actors and who you admire and who you idolise when you're a young actor. And I, of course, can never think of anyone I've ever liked. But this next person I really have admired for a long time, and his name is Alan Bates. And in his long career, he's worked in every medium, covered diverse artistic territory, created roles in Look Back in Anger, Harold Pinter's The Caretaker, and he's also played Hamlet. His film credits include Women in Love, Far From the Madding Crowd, The Rose, Georgie Girl, and many, many more. This past season, I had the pleasure of seeing him perform brilliantly off-Broadway, exemplifying the fact that actors no longer see any distinction between Broadway and off-Broadway, and international stars will work anywhere. Oh, the great roles take them. It would be my very unique privilege to present the Lucille Lortel Award for Outstanding Actor of 2001 to Alan Bates for The Unexpected Man, but he's in London and so he can't be here. But instead, and it's still a privilege, please welcome to the stage Ben Sprecher, who is one of the producers of The Unexpected Man. He'll accept
Alan, unfortunately, is filming a movie and couldn't be here tonight, but he did send something to say. But before I read that, I wanted to tell you something a little personal about Alan. We had the great pleasure of doing a play that was just a joy to work on, start to finish. And it also was one of those special occasions in the theater where you actually get to know everybody, and we actually all became rather friendly and hung out together. And I remember sitting between shows one Saturday afternoon. Alan and I were sitting outside the Promenade Theater having a cup of coffee. And he was painfully shy, or is painfully shy, but he can be very witty when he wants to be. And there was a woman who you knew was just focused on Alan. And sure enough, in the greatest New York tradition, she decided that she was going to come over and say something, and so she pulls her way right over to the table, practically knocks somebody over, and says to him, and looks at him and says, You're Oliver Reed. You were great in Gladiator." And Alan, without missing a beat, turns to her and says, "Madam, you're mistaking me for Alan Bates, and he was wonderful in that movie." Now, on that note, I will read you what Alan told me to read you. If I can open it. This is Alan writing. "When I opened in The Unexpected Man, I realized that I hadn't been on stage in New York for 27 years. I am privileged to be welcomed back with a prize, thank you, more than I ever expected, and indebted to Ben Sprecher and Julian Schlossberg for making it all possible, to Eileen Atkins, an amazing woman, for making it such a pleasure to do, and to Matthew Warchus for his inspired direction. Thank you very much."
Our next presenter is a Tony and Emmy Award-winning actor, a musician, and a singer. Hal Linden got his Broadway break in the original production of Bells Are Ringing, and he has been seen on the stage in The Rothschilds, The Sisters Rosenzweig, and I'm Not Rappaport. On television, he is best known for his long-running role on Barney Miller, and he's recently performed off-Broadway in Visiting Mr. Green, and is currently on Broadway in The Gathering, which began its life off-Broadway at JRT. Please welcome Hal Linden.
Speaking of facial hair, our next Lortel Award winner really knows how to pick scripts. This, incidentally, is a talent which has eluded me all my life. This year being no exception. This is the second Pulitzer Prize winning play in which Mary Louise Parker has originated a role. I think it's amazing. It is also her second Lortel Award, having previously won for How I Learned to Drive. And like so many of this evening's winners, she is developing a long list of credits that bring her from theater to film, including Longtime Companion, Fried Green Tomatoes, Boys on the Side, Bullets Over Broadway. Tonight, it is my pleasure to present the Lucille Lortel Award for Outstanding Actress of 2001 to Mary Louise Parker.
Thank you, Robin Goodman. Thank you, everyone at Manhattan Theater Club, especially my friend Lynn Meadow. Thank you to the wonderful actors I get to work with every night, Johanna, Ben, and Larry, and to David for writing this just wonderful, amazing play that just surprises and amazes and delights me every night. And also to Jean Parsagian and he just rocks. Dan Sullivan just rocks. I just don't know what else to say. And also to, I'm sorry I can't say anything more eloquent about you, but I'll send it to you in an email. And also to my sweet, wonderful Billy Crudup. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Our next presenter is currently appearing in Joan Cusack's television series What About Joan? But she is a beloved star of the New York stage, winning Tony Awards for The King and I and Passion, and having appeared in The Mystery of Edwin Drood, the human comedy Birds of Paradise, and Hello Again off-Broadway. Please welcome to the stage Donna Murphy.
It's an honor to be here tonight and to be presenting this particular award. In general, our culture seems to reward what's new, what's novel, what's unique. And while the theater is not immune to that inclination, it is also built on a tradition of great plays. When you see a modern classic again in an excellent production, it's a special kind of pleasure, and if you're lucky, it's a revelation. And that was certainly my experience while watching this year's Lucille Lortel Award winner for Outstanding Revival, Edward Albee's Tiny Alice. To accept this award, please welcome the Artistic Director of Second Stage Theater, Carol Rothman.
Is that good? Thank you very much. About 3 years ago, before we opened our new theater, I called Edward Albee and asked him to come and see it. And he came in, and we were standing on the risers. There were no chairs, and there was no stage. There was no grid. There was nothing. And I said, you know, I would really like to produce your play, Seascape. And he said, okay, fine, but let's do Tiny Alice first. And I thought, oh my God, I don't think I understand that play. It is a 3-act play with a 20-minute monologue at the end while the priest dies on stage. So I said, great, that's Well, it turned out that it was a lot of fun, and thanks to a fantastic cast of very smart actors, a beautiful design, insightful direction, a really supportive staff from the Second Stage Theater, the generosity of Hartford Stage, and Edward cut 10 minutes out of the final monologue. And I actually came to really understand the play, or believe that I did. And I thought that I think it's a great play, and I think it's a significant part of Edward's body of work, and I was really proud to be able to bring it to the theater again and produce it. And Edward has asked me to say these words. Good evening. Good things happen in clubs. I'm in London tonight for the opening of my work at the National Theatre, otherwise I'd be there. I'm happy that Tiny Alice was considered worthy of the Lucille Lortel Award, but if you have a splendid cast, a splendid director, splendid designers, and a splendid group like Second Stage behind you, splendid things do happen. Edward Albee. Thank you.
This year we mark the 25th anniversary of the landmark musical A Chorus Line, which opened off-Broadway at the Public Theater. Now, no other show opened and created the impact that was felt then, an impact that still remains today. Tonight, please welcome two of the original kids on that line, Lucille Lortel and Tommy Walsh.
They're still calling us kids. I guess when you're in the chorus, it's always, come on, kids, let's put on a show. So we're still kids, great. Well, A Chorus Line wrote all the rules for the musical theater 25 years ago, developed in the basement of the Public Theater, and premiering off-Broadway.
Just as the New York Theater Workshop did with Rent, and many other musicals like Hair, Two Gentlemen of Verona, The Mystery of Edwin Drood, Ain't Misbehavin', The Best Little House in Texas, Godspell, Runaways, and Little Shop of Horrors, all opened off-Broadway.
And this year we've got Bat Boy the Musical, a story ripped from the tabloid headlines about half boy, half bat hero. It is our great pleasure to present the Lucille Lortel Award for Outstanding Musical to Bat Boy the Musical.
Please welcome Nancy Nagel Gibbs, one of the producers of Bat Boy, to the stage.
I want to thank everybody. We have a great artistic team. Keith Farley, Brian Fleming, and Larry O'Keefe, an incredibly talented group of authors. And I'd like to, our director, Scott Schwartz, who had a wonderful creative team. We have a whole bevy of producers, a whole group of producers. Robin Goodman, mentioned many times up here tonight, Gene Demanian, Kevin McCullum, and Jeffrey Seller, and Riot Entertainment. We also have associate producers, Pam Paraso, who said, you have to come see this musical when it was in workshop, Lawrence Anderson, Greg Schaffert, and Mike Skipper. So it takes a lot of people to get a little musical going off Broadway these days, and we're very thrilled to receive the Lucille Lortel Outstanding Musical Award. We joined a wonderful company, and we're very excited.
My very first year as a for-profit producer, I'd like to thank all those wonderful and brave people with money who invest in shows like Bat Boy and other shows in this room, and for their support, and may they continue to stand behind us so that we can produce wacky, crazy things like Bat Boy. Thank you.
Our next presenters, Brian Kerwin and John Spencer, are currently appearing in Warren Lake's new play, Glimmer, Glimmer and Shine at Manhattan Theatre Club. Brian's appeared off-Broadway in Raised in Captivity, One Shoe Off, and here at the Lortel in Lips Together, Teeth Apart. John Spencer won an Obie for his role in Still Life and has appeared in Execution of Justice, Loose Ends, it's like this entire resume, Amulets Against the Dragon Forces, and Frankie and Johnny in the Claire de Lune. John can be seen as Leo McGuy on the West Wing, while Brian can be seen in Showtime's Beggars and Choosers as a harried network boss. Please welcome Brian Kerwin and John Spencer.
Hello. As has been noted, this year's Pulitzer Prize-winning play began its run off-Broadway.
Which is no surprise. Previous winners of both the Pulitzer and the Lortel Award include Dinner with Friends, How I Learned to Drive, Wit, and Three Tall Women.
Which is pretty good company for this year's Lucille Lortel Award winner for Outstanding Play, Proof.
Please welcome to the stage David Olern, playwright, Lynn Meadow, artistic director, and Barry Grove, executive producer.
Thanks very much. I would like to thank Dan Sullivan, who directed, I think, an ideal production, and who was a pleasure to work with and learn from as well. And I'd like to thank Manhattan Theatre Club, who brought me in, and specifically Lynn Meadow, Barry Grove, Robin Goodman, Christian Parker, and Michael Bush for their generosity and their faith in producing a new play by an unknown playwright. And I'd like to thank the best cast that I could possibly hope for. Ben Shankman, Johanna Day, Larry Bergman, and the great Mary Louise Parker. Thank you very much.
Proof is one of those amazing experiences, I think, in my history in the theater. It's a play that I loved when I read it. It's a play that I loved when I first heard it, the very first reading that Mary Louise did. It's a play that I loved when I saw the run-through that Dan did in the rehearsal room. It's a play that I loved at the first preview. And I think we've all just loved this piece. Everyone at Manhattan Theater Club is so proud of the production and so proud of David. And I think it's because David reached so deeply inside himself to create this piece. It's not about the surface things that we maybe get confused and think it's about. It's really about things that are very deep and that resonate in all of us. Mathematics is thrown in, but there's really the struggle that people have to overcome things in themselves and to reach another place. I know that speaks to me personally on the deepest level, and clearly to so many audiences every night. That's because David wrote this wonderful play, but it's also because it's been brought to life so lovingly by this amazingly talented group of people. Their names have been said tonight. Mary Louise Parker, who's just extraordinary, really extraordinary, and she's surrounded by Larry Brigman and Johanna Day and Ben Shankman, and an amazing cast. Of course, the brilliant Dan Sullivan, I remember talking to Sarah Jessica Parker once about Dan, and she said, wow, he's just so great. He's a surgeon. He does, every single thing that he touches is so brilliant, and then his hand disappears as he makes it all look completely natural. An amazing group of designers worked on this show, also very lovingly, Pat Collins, John Lee Beatty, Jess Goldstein, John Gramata. They brought such care and attention to David's play. And with one exception, Ben Shankman, what's so interesting to me is that every one of the people involved in this show had worked at Manhattan Theater Club at least one time, and in many cases several times. They'd come back, the design team. That was the exception. There was one actor who hadn't worked on at the Manhattan Theater Club, but there was also a major notable exception. That was David Auburn. It was the first time that David Auburn came to the Manhattan Theater Club and worked there. And that is so much what this theater has been about, which is a writer who has a dream of a play and who brings it to our theater and works with so many of the talented staff members who David mentioned tonight and who've been mentioned by other people here. There's a whole team of people who care so much about the idea of bringing new work to the stage. And at Manhattan Theater Club, that's clearly what we're about. So many writers like David, and not like David because David is unto himself, but people who have a dream as David had. And it makes me feel very proud to support that. I just would like to single out one particular person tonight, though, who is my partner of 25 years, Barry Grove, for the kind of commitment that he's brought to this vision, the vision of doing new work and constantly supporting the new voices and the creation of subscription brochures with names that no one has ever heard of. When